Welcome everyone to the Advisory Council. I'm glad you all could make it, and I'm glad we don't have to drive in the snow. Though it is a pretty blue sunshine sky out there right now. All right, so first I'd like to do the approval of minutes. We sent out the January 20th, 2021 minutes through email, and I did not see any changes in reply to that. Are there any questions regarding the January minutes? Okay. Then I would like to call for the approval of the January 2021 minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes. Looks like Larry motions to approve the minutes.
Larry L.
Who seconds the motion?
Michelle says I second.
Michelle.
And Melanie's just asking for clarification. It was Michelle. And Shelley, you wanted to say something?
I have it mixed up. They kept saying my name at the last meeting for the membership committee, and I think it should have been Charlotte's name instead, but I'm not sure.
I think that's correct, and we'll make that revision to the minutes.
And it's Charla instead of Shelley, correct?
Correct.
And Melanie says get that fixed.
Okay. Any other comments or questions about those minutes? Okay. So with that correction, all those in favor of approving the January 20th, 2021 minutes? Any opposed?
Melanie is trying to say something.
Melanie, let me spotlight you.
So the minutes, I'm supposed to fix the name, correct? I thought we can't go ahead and approve until we do that. Is that correct? Or do I need to fix those first before we approve? Arlene says, hello, everyone. We've changed how we structure our minutes reports. The minutes have always been more of a narrative. And so that's not the point of the report. The report really should be detailed. This is some highlights, what we need to do as far as follow through, etc. So we're hoping that our new report will show that reflected as bullets. So that would just basically state what what we've discussed during the meeting. So good to see everyone. I'm sick today, but I'm here in the snowstorm, making it work. And this is Kim. To answer the question, Melanie's question, when the motion says it to be changed, you'll make the changes, which means the motion is made along with the corrections. So we can approve it with the corrections to be made. So everyone is agreeing to the changes. So good question though, Melanie. Melanie says, thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. Is there anyone opposed to approving the minutes from January? Okay, I don't see any. So the minutes are approved as the change has been requested. The next thing on the agenda is to discuss the nominating process for the chair and co-chair. The chair and co-chair serve for a one-year term. And the job of the chair is to preside at the council and executive committee meetings. We make sure all the recommendations of the committee are transmitted to the individuals that need that information, and just oversee any work of the council, such as any subcommittees that are created or other needs that are requested by the council. The vice chair basically assists the chair with that and takes over running the meeting if the chair is unavailable. The chair and vice chair is selected by first, we give nominations of individuals that will, we want to be chair or vice chair. We can nominate someone else or we can nominate ourselves. If we nominate someone else, the current chair must be notified by the person that's nominated that they accept that nomination. In April, I will collect all the nominations that are made and verify those people agree to be nominated. The chair and vice chair must be a current voting member of the council. 5 individuals on the council are leaving in June when their term expires. So it will need to be one of our newer members on the council that serve as either chair or vice chair. Any questions?
Hello, everyone. This is Arlene. Do we start the nominations now or when do we?
We can start the nominations now. They must be collected no later than the April meeting.
Do we have the power to nominate anyone? I'm not really sure that in the bylaws, it's not very clear. That's one thing that we need to work on is the bylaws. So do we have a voice or not in that?
So my understanding is that anyone any current member of the council can be nominated by anyone else on the council.
Can or cannot? Interpreters asking for.
Yes, they can.
Okay. Looks like Stephen has a comment.
Let me move the spotlight.
So my feeling is if someone is nominated, the person who is selected as a new member of the advisory council perhaps is not ready because due to lack of experience. Someone who's only been on the council for a couple of months, maybe there should be a time frame of which they have served before they are nominated. Just wondering how that works. And if we nominate someone who has a little bit more experience, someone who has been on the council for less time maybe is not ready for that position. And we're going to switch interpreters. 1 second.
So it will be Crystal. So I'm the interpreter.
Okay.
Thanks.
who do I need to spotlight then? All right, let me go to Arlene.
Okay, did everyone see Steven? Sorry, I didn't see exactly where it is. So I won't talk until Steven's been replied to as well. So
Okay.
where is Steven? I can't see that he's on there. He was just asking, why is it quiet? It's no one.
Who needs to be spotlighted?
So this is Arlene. So, oh, sorry, I can't see Arlene now.
Okay, let me.
So our strategic plan definitely wants to include deaf blind. And I know there's been a lot of emails and a lot of doubt in that, but those aren't actually helping. So I understand that there's been issues, but we want to make sure that everyone is included. So we'll have our announcements, we'll make our changes, our vaccine announcements, all of those things have always been happening. So we want to make sure that you're receiving services always in the deafblind community. I understand that you're angry and talk to us more offline, but offline is more when to address these more personal issues. Then we'll talk about when we can do that, because just our time here is very limited. So you know that we are. So we're not ignoring you. I want to make sure Stephen realizes we're not ignoring you. Your words have made things kind of uncomfortable for some people, and so we've been trying to reach out more and make sure that we talk to you. But I want you to know that we do value our deafblind services. We are making an effort, and at the same time, we ask that you not be angry with us, that we make sure that we can come to a common agreement regardless. I know you have your expectations and I have mine. We have a lot going on, so we're still working toward all of that. Okay? Sorry, I didn't realize, was that addressed to me? I missed that. Can you say that again? I wasn't paying attention. Marlene Duff can be spotlighted. Yes, Stephen, I was talking to you. Yep, we've got the attention on you. So Stephen, you do have a role. You are important to us. Do you want me to say that again? Okay. So this is Arlene. So yes, our community does value you. We are doing things for the community and it's difficult. It's been very hard, especially with COVID. Everything looks new with COVID. Everything we're doing has changed. So, the no touch thing has been very different. I know you are a tactile person. I understand that. It's not a bad thing. You are unique in this community, the deaf and the deafblind and the hard of hearing. We are trying our best to support everybody. And it's difficult with the touch factor, with the tactile factor, because with COVID, we shouldn't be touching. So it's been difficult. Know that I am still here. All of us are still here. So I'm trying to just remind you, you've been sending a lot of emails to us and saying that we're ignoring you. And I just want you to be aware that we're not ignoring you. We are paying attention to you. We are concerned with you, and we're trying to provide services to you, and that you represent the deafblind community with our people. So the issue right now is the touch, the tactile interpretation, okay? So please don't be angry with us. We are trying our best. Okay? Yeah, everyone's waving. Hi, Stephen. Hi. So if everybody can wave, can everybody wave? So we're all here. Arlene's saying we're all here, and you're here with us. You're here with us, and yeah, sometimes we're tired, but we're all here. Okay, so love ya. Looks like Kim has had her hand up. I think she has a comment as well. Justin, you're on mute.
This is Justin. I'm going to be speaking for a moment. Arlene, thank you for that. Stephen, to answer your question regarding time on the council to be chair or vice chair, the bylaws do not specify a time of service on the council before being placed as chair or vice chair. If that is a concern with newer members, then that can be discussed when we vote for the nominations. Let's see, let's go to Chip.
I want to nominate Martin Price. I think he's a good leader. He's very organized. He has a lot of good ideas. I believe he has a lot of experience. So I suggest Martin Price.
Thank you, Chip. We'll go to Arlene now.
I don't have much to say. I don't even know if I actually have the power to nominate that, but if it's open for me as a person to do that, I would nominate Michelle Tanner too. USDB is a place where a lot of people can grow, and she gives a lot of our kids and our youth a chance and their access to language and learning and education. So for me, that's what I would say, because that's the place for it. So Michelle Tanner and Martin Price, I think, would be a great place for it.
Michelle Tanner will be leaving the council in June. We'll go back to Stephen.
I'm not sure when you vote if Martin Price is the chairperson, but I think that could be a conflict because I don't know if he's been, with his job, if that would be a conflict of interest with his other job. So, and I don't know if the bylaws will make him need to step down as chair to be just a general seat on the council. Arlene, Stephen, it seems maybe it's not clear. So today we're just nominating names. I think we have, it's not over until the end of June, or at least sometime summer. So we have everything ready. The deafblind newsletter we already have out. So Stephen, you'll know that, but I don't know if that was clear to you, but pretty much the bylaws, the policy I have say that we have the deafblind representative, which is you. So, you know, we make sure that happens, that you will be on the board. I'm just, Martin Price is voted in as the new chair. I'm concerned that it will be too much work for him as chair. And also on the bylaws committee, I think that he may have to just choose, if he becomes chair, then he may choose to step down from his other general council positions.
Crystal, I was saying that Martin is also the chair of the bylaws committee, so it would be too much.
Stephen, Martin has to accept this nomination before we would even vote on him. The voting is in June. Let's see. Martin, do you want to make a comment? No. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. I will be accepting nominations for either chair or vice chair. You can volunteer for these positions. We will collect these names until April. We will then vote on the nominations in June. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Arlene?
I just want to remind everybody of the importance of advisory council. I know I'm new, but I want to make things more productive, more progressive. So I want to see some change. I want to see growth. So whatever that means, I'd like to see this happen. So with the purpose of the monthly meetings and what that may look like, I've talked about that. I didn't really get much response. So I know we're working really hard to make meetings happen every month. It costs us money as well to do that. So, you know, we're open to monthly meetings for whatever amount of time that needs to be. If it needs to become something more of a quarterly meeting, we can talk about that as we get into working on the bylaws. To be honest with you, you are the people that guide us. You are who advise us. You're who let us know what changes need to be made. And so that's where I'm struggling. So, you know, for chair, for vice chair, for things, I will be relying on whoever's in that position to have some important conversations about what's happening. And just, you know, important things for our youth and for our deaf and our hard of hearing communities all around Utah. And so, you know, I sit here and I feel like I don't really have much of a voice. I think I'm here more to listen, and that's hard for me. That's hard for me. So hopefully, my pushing you to advance roles, whatever that may mean for you, but it's for the better of the state of Utah, for the deaf and hard of hearing individuals around the state. So, you know, it's as much as we can offer, we want to be able to offer. And so I struggle with the fact that, you know, meeting every month, what are we accomplishing? That's fine. If we have a good chair, we have a good vice chair. I mean, thank you, Justin, for all of your time that you've put in. I know in the past we've struggled every meeting, and it seems like every meeting people feel like they leave with no purpose. And so I just want people to leave feeling like they have a purpose. So that's my hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Arlene. The next item on the agenda is the legislative session update with Martin Price.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm not sure why it says legislative update. I only really meant for that to be a bylaws discussion. So I think maybe bylaws and legislature got a little confused. They're similar in some ways, but not exactly the same. So if I could have permission to share my screen so I can show something. Okay, may I get permission to share my screen, please?
Might. Hang on, technology.
Okay, I have it now.
Crystal, we can go ahead and switch.
Okay.
Did everyone have a chance to read that? Well, it looks like we're having issues with sharing the screen. Did everyone get a chance to look that over? We're good? Okay. So the reason that I brought that up is because the foundation of the bylaws is related to what the Utah legislature says. So when I read this, and the bylaws don't really coincide. So for today, I just want to review what the Utah law says. And then throughout the next month, I will be sending you an email once I meet with the committee, and we'll discuss more specifically what we can do to more coincide with the Utah law. So there's 4 parts. 501 talks about general provisions. So the assistant director means the assistant director, which is Arlene. Okay. And then 502 says create a program within the office of the Division of Services for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. I don't think that's great English, but we understand what it means. So the director with the approval from the executive director, which is Sarah. After discussion with members of the community to be served by the division, shall appoint an assistant director to run the services by the division. So that has to follow the description from above and follow all the rules and regulations. We understand that. Now, 503 says 6 things, which is kind of interesting. The first is to provide training and adjustment services for adults who are deaf and hard of hearing. Second is help public education and providing duties to those children who are deaf and hard of hearing. It's interesting because if you remember, the division used to be under Utah State Office of Rehabilitation, which was under the State Board of Education. So just keep that in mind when we discuss that more next month. And that will require some clarification, need everyone involved in that discussion. And maintain a list of qualified interpreters. Number 4 is probably old, provide training on the use of telecommunication equipment for the deaf. I think we need to focus that more on the hard of hearing because of the new technology with the phones for the hard of hearing. install and maintain, which we don't do. So, and then number 5 says operate the community center for individuals who are deaf and hard of hearing. And that's where I feel like the advisory council really needs to advise DSDHH staff on operating the community center. And then finally, perform other duties as assigned by the director or executive director. So you can see, even though it says 2016 it was approved, it has not been updated. And then the final one is a 504, appointment of an advisory council. Executive director shall establish the advisory council to advise and assist, not assist, but yes, assist the division of the office and department in anything related to needs and provision of services to people, to deaf and hard of hearing individuals. So that's what I wanted to review with you tonight. Before we meet again next month, we will talk about recommendations to from the bylaws committee and other people. I've received 4 recommendations that I will review with the committee and then pass those on to you in next month's meeting. And I will send that to you before the meeting so you get an opportunity to look that over and have some thoughts prepared for the next meeting. Any questions? It's like Arlene. Thank you, Martin, for making those points. This is not the first time that we've tried to narrow the focus and really get to the details. We lead by example, and when we lead, we make mistakes, and sometimes we hurt our own community by the mistakes that we've made, which that's okay. It's more about, I had a feeling that something was off, that something wasn't right, something wasn't done right. When you plant the seed, you know it's going to eventually grow, and I don't think we've had that growth because we didn't plant it correctly. So I think, again, I want to thank Martin for taking the time to really go through all of this and to really make it right. So now we can focus on what's right and what we can do to make it better going forward. Honestly, what does the advisory council even mean? What value do we bring? What is the purpose? You bring your experience, you bring your perspective, your potential, and that's why we have an advisory council. And so Martin is making the first step to fix what's happened in the past and what we can do moving forward, and we're going to be okay. Thank you, Martin. Looks like Michelle. Thank you, Martin, for your report. I appreciate the in-depth review and what the language says as far as the DSDHH. I am curious. My recommendation is if you change some of the language, but it may be too late. If you give us enough time this year, we could make those changes and do it right. Make sure the language fits. You're right, we were under USOR and the Board of Education. And so it doesn't really fit, the language doesn't fit currently. So when we get together and talk about this, I would propose some new language for next year's legislative session. That's what I would propose. And Martin says, yes, that is the plan. Any other questions?
Chip, did you have a question?
Who's that?
This is Justin. Chip, did you have a question? Your hand is up.
Just a comment. I feel like now is a good time. Because like you said, before we were under Utah State Office of Rehabilitation, and it may be maybe we reverse engineer. This is what we want. The law doesn't agree with that. And so we change the law to fit our needs because we have a new vision. We have a new strategic plan. So why don't we come up with what it is that we want? The bylaws are important, of course, but the law is also important to fit our needs. And we have the power to change the law as well as and make sure that the bylaws fit our strategic plan and focus on what we want first and then change it to fit. Does that make sense? Is that clear? You might see my tears. Yeah, this is tough. It's a tough job that we have as state employees. We want to do more. We just have to figure out what the steps are to get there and what it means. And did we plant the wrong tree? Did we plant the right tree? And so I think it's more about a spiritual journey. I read a book that's about Native Americans who were here way before us, before we came to America and took over the land. And I feel like that's the same thing that we experience as deaf individuals, the same principle as deaf people that we go through. And it's like the natives, that they couldn't sit back and say anything. So I think it's about what can we do together? And really the point is together. And, you know, being the first deaf woman BIPOC leader at the Deaf Center, you know, as a woman, 95% of you are white. And you know what Sarah told me last week? She said, we live together. We're mostly white, speaking English in our state. My old, and I missed, did anybody catch this, Crystal? So 95% we are white, but again, we can make a difference if we acknowledge the difference. There is a place for what it means, and we can create space for others. And we can only lead by example. But what is the example, and what does that need to look like? And I think, Martin, all eyes are on you as a leader. The whole state looks up to you, Martin, and we're willing to work with Martin to, he has educated me, I've educated him, so that we are in the right environment. We are yearning for that. You know, time is passing. We can't just sit around and wait for it to happen. We need to make the space for it to happen. I think I've said enough at this point.
Any other questions or comments for Martin? Okay, seeing none. Martin, thank you for your work on the bylaws. They can certainly be adjusted, and I'm glad that we're doing this together. The next item on the agenda is the DSDHH update. Arlene.
Hello. I'm gonna have to, can you allow me to share my screen? So we had our first COVID clinic on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. We had over 26 of people 65 and up come get vaccinated. Interpreters didn't get it. We were holding off holding the information for interpreters working in the field, in the medical field. So we brought in some interpreters. So that was about 20. So we'll have our second vaccination July 2nd. And the people who came in said that we did such a great job. Everything was coordinated so well. They were in and out safely, and they were monitored. They had to wait the 15 minutes after their vaccine. There's a video I want to share with you. It's bittersweet, not really sad, that we'll do what it takes to make sure that everyone stays safe, and at the same time show that we care. You know, what we've experienced has been historical, and you know, we were able to vaccinate several of the people over 60s, and then it will increase to the general population, but we are making sure that we're meeting everyone's needs so that they have full access to communication. Even though we don't have all the answers, we're here. And thank you to all the staff who have participated, making sure that everything came together so smoothly. So thank you to the staff for that. I don't have a lot to report, except that we are moving forward. We're doing what we can with COVID. We're getting used to this new normal, and we're not fully back in the offices yet. People have wondered. We are still operating 8 to 5. Those are our hours. And thank you to Adam, to Julio, and those who are there. Sherry, Melanie, they play an integral role at the center. So thank you. Let's see. Let me look at my PowerPoint. There has been discussion of the $3 million budget and what that looks like. So 2.8 million is based on personnel. And operation is about 200,000 per year. We're doing the bathroom renovation, which will begin March 1st. And there's other positions we're working on. And people are wondering what Arlene's up to. And I'm looking at the different positions. It hasn't been easy. When I change a position, we have to figure out what that looks like, who will supervise that position. So it's more difficult than it seems. I know I've been quiet the last few weeks. This position is a very big job. And when I make that recommendation for a position change, you'll understand what we've been doing. But we do have to justify and validate everything. And it is an exciting time going forward. And the team might think, this is a new step for change, and we're in a position to change, and we will let you know what that looks like. And for now, that's really all I have to report as far as that goes. Governor Cox talked about the snowstorm. He plans to stop by at our executive team meeting next week, and how that aligns. So we're excited to see how that goes. Tomorrow we have a conference. So I need 1 second. I need to get clarification.
Let's see other, sorry.
So the 5 managers, we will have a forum, and then one has expressed interest in joining. So we will have 6. If we will let us know, because we will need to order food for tomorrow. So please let us know.
We can switch, Julie. Okay, I guess, is there anything else? Good on that? Okay. So then, I think pretty much tonight, we want to talk about deaf education and the first parents meeting ever. We've got that. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's do it.
Who are we spotlighting?
Justin, just to let you know, Sarah didn't show up for tonight, so just continue on the agenda.
Thank you, Melanie. We'll skip the USOR update. Any other business or community updates that need to come before the council? Any community updates? Michelle?
So just to let you know what's happening with USDB right now. Our funding for now looks good. We got some one-time money. They approved everything, I think. So for some different areas, we requested $900,000 for some property near JMS for field. So we're looking good so far. For an increase, they gave us half of what was recommended, so 700,000. So, but we'll figure it out. And then teacher pay increases, I think, was 7.85%. Looks like that will be approved, and then it needs to advance to the executive committee. So hopefully we can get that much approved, but we'll see how it goes. So it's looking good for us so far with the legislative session for USDB.
Thank you, Michelle. Any other community updates? Charla?
Hi. So the Hearing Loss Association of America Salt Lake chapter is doing a really neat thing each month. We're really focusing on apps that the deaf and hard of hearing can use to help in communicating with each other and out in the community and with our families. And this Saturday, February 20th, from 10 to noon, we're going to have an app called AVA, AVA. They do real-time captioning. And so we have people from the companies present to us, and then they're going to take questions and actually help people who want to install it on their phone, help them guide through that. So we have a lot of neat different apps coming up the next few months. So thanks.
Thank you, Charla. Any other community updates?
Kim, hi everyone. I'm representing UAD as president. So we're going to have a website released soon, finally. I know it's been kind of just left for a year waiting to be fixed and updated. So that should be coming. And we have our partnership with DSDHH. We have our meeting tomorrow. So I think we will come out stronger than ever. So I look forward to that as well.
Thank you, Kim. Any other community updates? Seeing none, our next meeting is on March 17th. And if there's nothing else anyone needs to bring up, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
This is Michelle. I move to adjourn the meeting.
And a second. Okay, Charlotte seconds. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you next month.